Welcome to this week's Desmond's Haver. This week we'll have the diary, followed by a haver. Not the planned haver, because the diary will probably be full of what was going to be in the haver. See you at the end of it.
Diary, 7th of September 2018. We set off for our planned spot near Portnocky, but on arrival Lindsay felt uncomfortable, so invoked our golden rule. If one of us doesn't feel right about a spot, we move on. We left and headed for Whiteash Wood near Buckie. The last time we'd been here it was covered in rubbish and we didn't stay. This time it is clearer, so we settled in for the night. (8th of September 2018). There was nothing I could do to stop Lindsay wombling straight after breakfast. The park-up area yielded a large bin bag and revealed a huge amount of rubbish in the bushes, and apparently ploughed out of the way, then hidden. Lindsay cleared a very large bin bag, then settled. She then went off to Craigmin Bridge at Drybridge, which is not far away from the park-up, and I settled down to listen to the cricket and relax. After lunch Lindsay wombled again and we enjoyed the rest of the afternoon. Later I flew the drone, and after supper we watched the sunset behind the trees. The nights are drawing noticeably in already. My new VHF antenna configuration seems to be working well, so I can tidy up the cabling. (9th of September 2018). We had a lie-in and a quiet morning at the park-up. I listened in on HF and VHF. There's no local news on 2 meters at the moment, but the new antenna was picking up the news from Stornoway on VHF. First time I've heard that in a long time. Car park was getting busy with walkers and foragers, so we decided it was time to head for home.
This is going to be another sandbag. We were going to talk about something else, but that's probably in the diary. So this is about the Falkland Islands and an incident that happened during a tour there at Mount Pleasant. It happened well after the conflict, and this is when detachments down there were routine. Airmen, senior NCOs airmen were 4 months and officers were 6 months. And round about your central point, when you'd been there halfway through and you still had as long to go again, separated from family, loved ones, etc. by 8,000 miles, there was a thing called mid-tour blues. It hit you for a couple of days, 4 or 5 maybe if you were unlucky, when you were really down, really depressed, and you could go there knowing it was going to happen and as happy as Larry, and it still happened. It's, well, part of the human condition, no doubt. So I was on duty during my mid-tour blues. I was responsible for locking up the servicing bays, the avionics and electronic servicing bays, which we shared with the REMI. I was on lock-up duties, and when everybody left, basically, I locked up, and that was it. The certain parts remained open, but they were accessed by a different door, and you couldn't access the bays when it was all locked up. So I'm wandering around. I've locked up the servicing bays, checked the secure cabinets, feeling, well, hacked off, because that's how you feel, really, really down. And it takes little things. It's daft when you're down there. Things like, let's turn the radio off because we can watch this live next week with something like live football. BFBS did a great job of getting radio to us, but pictures were harder, and it usually took a week to get the tapes down. So we could listen to the football live on the radio, but if we wanted to watch it, we had to wait a week. Yeah, that was about it. But phrases like that just seem sensible. When you've got the Falkland Island Broadcasting Company doing things like sheepdog trials and snooker on the radio and darts, you can understand entertainment was where you could find it. Anyway, I'm busy locking up on mid-tour, aren't I? So I get round and I've checked every office except the officer commanding, and locked everything up except the officer commanding, because you always do his last, because he sometimes works late and it just makes sense. So I went in and, oh, he was still there, so I introduced myself, told him, he said yeah. And he just asked the question that you would ask as a commanding officer, how are you doing, and you feeling okay? I said, well, I'm at my mid-tour point, so I'm not feeling too good. He said, yeah, me too, I've got 3 months to go. And I said, well, I best get on, sir. I'll be in the main building when you're finished, just give us a buzz and I'll lock up. And I left feeling happier. The little thing that kicked me out of my mid-tour blues was the fact that I only had 2 months to go. Yeah, 8-9 weeks time, I would be heading home. And it was daft. That was the kind of little thing that could kick you out of it. But it was a very, very real event, the mid-tour blues. And little things that got people through it were a bluey from home. Bluey was an ML letter, which, because it was a war zone, you could get free. And, you know, just little things like a parcel from home. If it arrived at the right time, bang, kick you past your mid-tour blues and get you going into your second half of your tour and getting it over with. Because believe me, most people didn't enjoy their 4 months tour down there, or even their 6 months if they were an officer. I probably did more so than others, as that time I was down just as they were coming out of winter and into summer. In other words, perfect for fishing. But that's another tale for another day. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching this week's Haber. See you on Friday for the accompanying Donda, and hopefully see you again. Bye for now.